I want to welcome you back to Followed by Mercy. And we know together, you and I have learned that we are honestly, certainly, surely being pursued by mercy and grace. Surely goodness and mercy do follow me, chase me all the days of my life because the Lord is my shepherd. I'm excited. I am constantly writing every day and studying every day. And I've just been meditating on the prodigal son and the elder brother. And I've got a couple articles that'll be coming out, and I thought I would just share those with you. I challenge you to sign up if you're not signed up to read them. And, I'm trying my best to get out material that will bless you and help you. Well, I want to talk to you right now about when religion makes you bitter. There's a quiet exhaustion in the church today. You can see it in the faces of people who have served faithfully for years, dependable, devoted, and tired. It's the weariness of those who have tried their best to be good enough, yet still feel unseen, unrewarded, and unloved. That's the ache of the elder brother in Luke 15. He stayed home. He obeyed every rule. But when his younger brother came back and the father threw a feast, the elder brother refused to go in. He stood outside, angry and alone, saying, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment, and yet thou never gavest me a kid that I might make merry with my friends. He was not angry because he was bad. He was angry because he was weary, jealous, and disappointed. He had worked so long for approval that when grace showed up for someone else, it felt like an insult. That's what religion without grace does. It breeds jealousy, fuels comparison, and slowly poisons the soul with resentment. It whispers, if you do everything right, God will bless you. But when life doesn't work out the way you thought, bitterness grows. We start comparing, we start judging, and soon the joy is gone. When grace fades, criticism takes its place. When mercy is forgotten, judgment fills the air. We stop rejoicing when people come home. We start keeping score instead. And before long, the church begins to sound less like the Father's house and more like the elder brother's lecture. The church loses its joy. Religion without grace not only drains individuals, it drains entire congregations. The joy is gone. The laughter dies. Worship feels heavy, tense, and performative. People no longer come to church to find help. They come to keep up appearances. Church stops being a refuge for the broken and becomes a stage for the polished. The hurting no longer confess their sins because they know they will be judged, not healed. So people fake it. They smile through the pain. They say amen through sermons that only deepen their shame. They stop going to the altar and start going to therapists, not because psychology is right or wrong, but because church stopped being safe. The place that was meant to be the center of grace and help has become, for many, the center of scrutiny and fear. We built sanctuaries where people feel condemned rather than comforted. Then we wonder why they seek help elsewhere. That's what happens when religion forgets grace. We lose the music of mercy and start marching to the drumbeat of performance. We do not even realize it, but we slowly become the very kind of religious people Jesus had so much trouble with. Loud about sin, quiet about love. Moral on the outside, miserable on the inside. Critical, judgmental, and terrified of being found imperfect. This is the life of the elder brother. And that's the danger of the modern church when grace is replaced by appearance. That's why so many believers caught in performance-based religion end up living two lives. One they show on Sunday, and another they live the rest of the week. At church, they speak with confidence. At home or work, they struggle quietly with the various sins they condemn so loudly. Because they built their faith around appearances, they think that being vocal against sin, especially sins they secretly fight themselves, somehow earns them credibility. Maybe it gains them points with God, or at least respect from other Christians, but it does not heal their heart. It only deepens the split inside. They live torn in two, half pretending, half ashamed, caught between wanting to be seen as strong and knowing they're not. That's the tragic fruit of religion without grace. Hypocrisy that does not come from malice, but from exhaustion. We become much more like the elder brother or the Pharisees, unintentionally becoming the very people Jesus had so much trouble with. We defend rules rather than show mercy. We focus on control instead of compassion. We trade joy for judgment and call it holiness. When grace disappears, love becomes conditional and faith becomes theater, and joy leaves the church. When grace leaves the message, the joy leaves the church. Worship turns stiff, prayer turns mechanical, love turns selective. We stop celebrating sinners who come home because we've forgotten that we once were them. The truth is, you can be in the Father's house and still far from his heart. You can serve him out of duty and never feel his delight. The elder brother had everything, but because he did not understand grace, he could not enjoy it. That's the tragedy of performance-based faith. It can make you moral, but not merciful, zealous, but not joyful, obedient, but not free. That's the first thing I'd like to talk to you about in this elder brother. And tomorrow I'll follow up with a second part in the next article. I want you to know that our Father loves the prodigal and he loves those of us that stay. I want you to know that somehow we turn that into religion, and what we do is we preach more morality than we preach grace. We preach more rules than we preach love. And that's what we want to change. You don't have to measure up. Your Father loves you, whether you're the prodigal or whether you're the elder brother. He loves you and he cares. Thank you so much for listening. If this has been a blessing, maybe you could share it with someone else. Maybe it would be a blessing to them. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you very much. He loves you today. Surely, goodness and mercy are chasing you every day of your life.